Hi, I'm Dr. Jose Pereira, and I'm a palliative care physician and professor of palliative care at McMaster University. As we have discussed in the previous modules, being with someone who is seriously ill or dying is a privilege. It can bring joy and fulfillment to both that person and ourselves. Often it's not easy, but we are not necessarily alone. Providing companionship and being present can extend outside our close circle to our community, our friends and fellow parishioners. Being there and caring for others is what communities have done for thousands of years. Being present can include just sitting there with the person, listening what they have to share, reflecting on fond memories and photographs, and things that have brought them joy and what they have been proud of. Sometimes it's just being quiet, saying nothing, reading a book or listening to music together. It may take the form of helping them with some household tasks. Don't forget to look after yourself as well. When holding vigil for many hours and days, it can be exhausting and you can get so tired that you cannot provide care or be present when it really matters. So take breaks as often as you need to care for yourself. If there are other members of the family or friends, take turns holding vigil. Losing someone is painful and difficult, and the hurting or grieving, as we refer to it, usually starts before the person dies. It is the pain of seeing a loved one leaving us, not being able to do things we wanted to do with the person, and thinking of life without the person. Speak to a close friend or even your family doctor, nurse or counselor if you are struggling and these feelings are stopping you from being able to do your daily work, your daily chores. The hurt will increase when the person dies. It is normal to feel the hurt. Don't hesitate to share with friends and caregivers how you are feeling. Keeping it bottled up inside is not helpful and will harm you more on the long term. It is often said that grieving does not go away, it just becomes easier to live with. You will experience increased feelings of loss on days and events that remind you of the person, their birthdays, Easter or Christmas, an anniversary. Sometimes you will feel the person's presence, or you may even seem to see them. That is normal. For some people, the grieving can be very difficult, so difficult that it stops them from being able to carry on with their lives, with their work, with caring for themselves and caring for those around them, and being with others in the family. If you are feeling like this, do not hesitate to ask for help. Speak to your family doctor, nurse or counselor, or call a helpline or your local hospice for advice, or your local parish. It is not a sign of weakness. Even the strongest of people feel loss. Research shows that some people are at a higher risk of experiencing severe grief than others. This includes situations where the loss is of someone much younger than you, a child or a younger sibling, for example, or it was a sudden, unexpected death, or it was a loss of someone that you depended a lot on. Don't hesitate to look for help in these situations. Over the last 4 modules, we have shared many things about living and dying with serious illness and the role of palliative care. While today there are many more palliative care services like hospices, palliative care units and palliative care teams in hospitals, the community and long-term care than there were a decade or 2 ago, there are still many gaps and services lacking in many parts of our country. There are many communities that do not have hospices. And in many provinces, hospices still rely mostly on charity and fundraising. There are many communities that do not have access to palliative care specialists or to family doctors who are able to provide palliative care, or even to palliative home care nursing. Most medical and nursing schools and other schools provide too little palliative care training, if any at all, even though access to palliative care is a human right, as declared by the World Health Assembly in 2014, which Canada is a part of. Become a champion and an advocate for more palliative care in our country. All Canadians should have access to palliative care. And research shows that while it is good in some parts of the country, it is lacking in many others. In fact, in some regions, less than 30% of people have access to it when they need it. Support provincial or federal legislation that supports palliative care. Write to your local provincial or federal elected officials. Ask them what support are they putting into local, provincial and federal palliative care initiatives. Remind them that most provincial governments and the federal government have identified the need for more and better palliative care. Now's the time for action. Thank you very much, and God bless.